Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and 3 toes. I will eat your ass.
Today's episode is powered by Dre's Daiquiri Shop at Cotton Gin, where Texas flavor meets game day energy. Cool off with our legendary Texas-style daiquiris and load up on the best football food in town. From the crispy, mouth-watering wings to your favorite game day bites, Dre's is your ultimate pregame, halftime, and victory spot. Don't just watch the game. Taste the win at Dre's Daiquiri Shop at Cotton Gin.
And welcome to the One Ass Cheek and 3 Toes show. I am your host, Nate the Great, and I got my fellas here, B and J. How y'all doing, guys?
Doing good, man.
Good.
Yeah,
doing good, man. Doing great.
Yeah, we're 1 week away from the regular season kickoff. Eagles and Cowboys. How y'all feeling?
Feeling good, man. This moment is surreal.
Any angst yet?
I don't have any angst. I'm just annoyed at everybody in their mother tongue. Like, oh, the Lions don't have offense. Shut up.
Yeah, I was arguing with some people, and we're gonna talk about that. I don't know if y'all saw Neil Rule's post on the Woodward Sports, but he basically told them to shut the fuck up about all those picks that we didn't hit on. I mean, come on, Brad's human, man.
You know what?
Shit happens.
We'll put all that to bed in about a week and a half now.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, it's great to see y'all, fellas. We got a great show today. We're gonna focus on the 53-man roster. The final cut down was today. A lot of players' dreams were shattered. Hopefully, some started. So it's just the business. That's just football. What it is. Also, too, we got our NFC North debate. We got our fellow whackers, our fellow bear dumps, and our fellow queens coming in to chop it up and talk about why they feel their team will not finish better than us. You like that?
I love it.
The shit talking's already started, y'all. I'm amped up and ready to go, man. I hope my boys are ready to go. I'm ready to unleash y'all guys on them. Release the hounds. All right, let's get started, man. 53-man depth chart. So, no surprise here. Jared Goff and Kyle Allen are quarterback 1 and 2. Hendon Hooker did get cut. Real quick on Hendon Hooker, do you see him coming back at all, or do you see him even making an NFL roster?
Well, I definitely don't see him coming back. As far as going to an NFL roster, I don't know either.
Okay.
But I don't see him coming back.
Jay?
Nah, I don't think he comes back either. I mean, anytime you got your head coach mentioning a change of scenery, that kind of just gives you, everything you need to know right there. I think he can go to another NFL roster. He'd be fighting for a spot. Now, where that may be, that's kind of a question mark. Whoever gives him a chance, I'm pretty sure he could probably make his way on their team as a second or third quarterback, possibly. But
what's up, Robbie?
What's up, Robbie?
His time in Detroit is done. I think it was a mutual split. Dan Campbell probably just knew that it was time for them to move on from him.
I agree. I agree, and I think that if he has any future going forward, maybe it's the UFL. I mean, the UFL has shown giving quarterbacks second chances. I'd like to see him get into the UFL, maybe develop his game, and then maybe come back as a backup. I mean, but he's already like 27, 28 years old. So his career is kind of already almost over in a sense before it even started. It's unfortunate, but you know what? Kyle Allen deserved it. He played better than Hooker. And, and like I said before, unless the Lions find somebody on waivers that they feel is a lot better than Kyle Allen, I think Kyle Allen will be the backup quarterback for the 2025 season.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Now, before you go further in this, let's just keep in mind there's 50 people on this depth chart, not 53. So we have 3 open spots on a roster.
Correct.
And as I was saying earlier to you guys in the chat that we have, I probably 3 of those spots are open for a defensive end, maybe 2 defensive ends, maybe a safety, and maybe a quarterback if they get another quarterback.
Possible.
So
or they keep it open for something down the line. You never know.
Yeah. And it's hard to kind of gauge it because we throw out a lot of names, and I know we talked in our group chat of possible quarterbacks that they could bring in, but I mean, realistically speaking, we never know where Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes' mind is. I've seen a video of Dan Campbell giving praise to Kyle Allen, saying how tough he is because he, did what he had to do in a preseason game. He stumbled a little bit, but then he showed why he's capable of being quarterback number 2.
Yeah, after that first game, he really buttoned up and played better. I mean, he didn't play perfect, but he was able to create scoring drives and put the ball in harm's way. And that's all you really want as your backup quarterback is if your starting quarterback goes down, you just want your backup quarterback really not to pick up. That's really what you tell them not to do. Unfortunately, Hooker didn't get that message, so that's why he's not on the team.
Yeah, really quick to what B was saying, that's actually interesting. That is only 50 guys instead of 53. I do think that they'll bring some more defensive players in, considering there's only 3 defensive ends on our roster right now. So I think that really opens the door for a lot of things.
It's possible. I gotta see what the practice squad looks like first before they do. They got to see who they're going to get the practice squad first.
Hey, Brent.
From there.
What's up,
Brent? You all right? Thank you for tuning in.
Well, I think that's why they got Kingsley. That we're gonna get to that, Brent. But that's why Kingsley made the roster, and Cologne's gonna come back, I think, at some point.
Yeah, Tristan Colon was the better of the two, actually, or was the better of him and Ekuban or whatever Kingsley.
So,
yeah.
All right, we're gonna go to running backs. So Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Craig Reynolds, Sion Vaki all made the roster.
No surprise.
No surprise. Jacob Sailors and Deion Jackson got cut. I would like to see Jacob Sailors on the practice squad. I thought the guy ran really hard. And if we didn't have a guy like Vaki, who's a great special teamer, and if we didn't have Craig Reynolds, who's been a good backup to the starting running backs, he might have made the roster because he really did well. I was really impressed with the way his running style was and the way he was aware. I really like to keep him on the roster. What do y'all think?
Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, I like it. I like him to come back to be on the practice squad because he's a try-hard guy. And, I mean, you've seen him even when he had – you can tell when they were playing the Texans, he was injured a little bit, limping around, getting in and out. I mean, but he never gave up on himself. And that's one thing I like about a lot of players on the Lions. They don't give up on themselves. They don't give up on the team. They don't give up on themselves. And I think Sailors is one of those guys that you could use in the pinch. I mean, let's just be honest. How old is he again? How old is he?
I think he's like his mid-20s. I don't think he's that old.
If he's like mid-20s to late 20s, you can just kind of you can really just see the maturity in him. I think that's one thing that I like, the maturity. He seemed like when he's out there, he's playing as a leader. So, yeah, bring him back. Why not?
And he might go back to the UFL. He's had a lot of success to UFL, so with the Battlehawks. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Yep. B, any thoughts on the running backs?
Yeah, there weren't too many surprises here. There weren't any surprises here. Gibbs and Montgomery are as good of a 1-2 punch as any in the NFL. I mean, Reynolds is probably the best number 3 running back in the league. I ain't gonna lie. I don't think you can find another number 3 running back on anybody's roster that's as talented as him right now. And Vaki is going to keep going through his thing. He's going to keep stepping up every year, obviously, and how he plays special teams and until he gets his spot back. Gets his spot going up once Craig Reynolds gets off this roster. And Sailors I could see being on a practice squad. He'd be a good if any of the running backs get hurt. Hopefully that won't happen, but he can come in there and spell anyone for instance. So that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that.
We feel good about our running backs as long as the starters be healthy.
Is great.
Yeah, and think about this with Reynolds. I heard you say he's probably the best number 3 running back in the league. He can be a number 2 running back on certain teams.
In some teams, yeah.
Right. I think Craig Reynolds, he really shows how good he is and how much of a leader he could be as well. So
reliable, and he's reliable and durable, and that's something you don't have to get a lot of running backs. So if you have something like that. That's
and you're going to need a guy like that, especially when you're on a team like the Lions who love to run the ball. Exactly. You can never have too many running backs. I know that may sound crazy, but you can never have too many running backs on a team like that.
Right on. All right, let's go to receivers. Amara, Jameson, Tim Patrick, Khalif, Tesla, Lovett made the roster. Ronnie Bell, Jacoby, Kenny James, TK, Jackson Meeks, Malik Traylor. Any of those guys surprised you that got cut?
Meeks.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to keep 7. I thought they were going to go outside what they do usually keep 6. So, I mean, it's not a surprise in that, but Meeks would probably been a good person to add on there just for general purposes. Tom Kennedy, of course, is going to be the practice squad hero again. I don't know about Ronnie Bell and Jacoby, Kenny James, and Malik Taylor, though. It's possible that Ronnie Bell could go in the practice squad too.
I hope Meeks makes the practice squad because he's got some talent and he definitely played really well in the preseason games. Yeah. But I'm afraid that somebody's going to pick him up because the talent, and you look at some of these teams, they're starving for receivers, especially young receivers that they can develop. So
that's why that was the reason why I was surprised that they cut him, because there's teams that are hungry for receivers.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Not so much defensive, not so much defensive or offensive people, offensive tackles, line guys, linebackers, more like receivers. Any skill position is basically what a lot of teams are hungry for, getting people off the waiver wire. So, yeah, I kind of surprised that they let Jackson Meeks take a walk.
Talk about. Let's talk real quick about Lovett. Do you think Lovett is one of the return guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he'll definitely be on a special teams
because
he was him and Meeks. They were projected to at the beginning of during the middle of the practice day or training camp, they were projected to be on the special teams. Right.
Yeah,
they both got good size and speed. So
right. And I think one of the quotes that Dan said about Lovett, I pretty much solidified his spot when he said, like, basically, we've put him everywhere, and we like to utilize him in a lot of positions. Usually, when the coach says that about you, you're going to stay on the roster because you're like a Swiss Army knife. We talk about Sion Vaki. Vaki is one of those guys, the Swiss Army knife. You play him on special teams. He can come in and be a running back. Hell, you can play him on defense if you wanted to. It's just that kind of skill the guy has. So,
yeah.
All right,
let's something really quick about that. Like it was kind of a surprise to see Meeks get cut because you've seen in a couple of games, whether it had been Miami and against Houston, he had a couple of catches, and deep catches at that. And I thought that was something that was really standoutish, if that's a word, to me, because the Lions got downfield threats, but the biggest downfield threat they have right now is J-Mo. And Meeks, he beat his assignment a couple of times to get a couple of good catches. So I wonder what happened in training camp that they made that deciding. Well, what was the deciding factor to say, hey, we're going to keep Lovett over Meeks?
Brent just made the point right there. Like, I do think special teams was the reason why he made the roster. Because remember when I talked to y'all about the 6th receiver, I said, if you're going to make the roster as a 6th receiver, you're going to have to play special teams because we already have 5 great receivers with Khalif, used in some areas. So you're going to have to really do it on the special teams.
That's not a word, Robbie.
So,
hey, I made up a word. Let's put it in the dictionary.
So yeah,
what's up, Rumble? Yeah,
versatility. But Nate, and it's kind of interesting to see who's going to be on the special teams, considering you got Vaki that can return kicks as well. You got Reynolds. You got Khalif Raymond who can do that.
You got Stewart,
Khalil Dorsey. It's a couple of guys who can do this. So I mean, I agree with you, but who's going to be the guys on kick return?
I would probably say, if I was to guess, I'd probably
Khalif
say
or Dorsey.
Yeah, I think Lovett's
Vaki.
a returner.
Mm-hmm. So that's
They're
going to
probably
be
gonna-
interesting to see.
Yeah, they're probably gonna have two people back like they had last year. So I think Lovett will be one of them.
On this note, too, this is another reason why I thought that Meeks would make the team, because Patrick is older, Raymond is getting older. You know, Wiz Khalifa, he's getting old.
Mm-hmm.
That's my guy, but he's getting old, and pretty soon his contract's going to be up.
Sad.
So you want to replace him with good, good targets.
And I think also too, B, to add to that, I think with Khalif, I think they're not going to use him as much in the offense, because you got a lot of mouths to feed on that offense with J-Mo, St. Brown, Laporta, Tesla, Patrick. You know,
Gibbs.
that's a lot. Gibbs, Monty, yeah, that's a lot of mouths to feed. So I think Khalif's probably going to take more of the special teams role now. You're going to see him on punt returns for sure.
If I'm not mistaken, Brock Wright is still on the team as well, correct?
Yeah, we're about to get to that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know.
Khalif is a gadget guy.
Right.
He's not really. I mean, they call him a third wide receiver, but he's really the gadget guy on the team.
Yeah.
He does all the gadget plays that expose his strong suits, running around the corner, speed, that kind of thing.
Lining up at the slot, catching a quick pass
and
out of the backfield.
And as this roster's gotten better, Khalif has gone down the depth chart, and that's okay, because at some point you knew that he was going to go down the depth chart, because you're going to draft players and you're going to bring in players that are a little bit more skilled than Khalif is. You know, remember in 2020, remember 2021, he was one of our best guys. You know, and that I mean. He did his thing, and so did St. Brown. But you know, the thing is that now that we've got a lot more depth, we got a lot more skill. Yeah, he's falling in line where he should be, and he's going to be a core special teamers now. Punt return, kick return, you know, maybe use them on end rounds or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what Johnny's got cooked up. All right, let's go to tight ends, because Jay brought it up. Sam Laporta, Brock Wright, and Shane Zylstra. Zach Horton got cut, Gunnar Oaks got cut, and Steven Stellanos. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Any surprises there?
No, not at all. You know.
Yeah, I mean, even though they got Kenny Yeboah, and he went on IR.
He's on IR. Yeah. I think he could return. He could return.
Yeah, I'm not really high up on Yeboah. I think St. Zylstra is still better than him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 3 tight ends is fine.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm a bit surprised at that, and the reason being is because Zylstra hadn't really played much. I know he spent a lot of time being injured the past couple of years. I wonder what does Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, or actually the whole staff, see in him as well. He's kind of getting up there in age as well, and
he's probably one of the better blockers than catchers.
Yeah. Possibly. I'd really like to see it, you know, in a time that the Lions are up. I'd really just like to see what he's made of.
He did have one game where he caught 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I remember that was his career highlight of the year right there.
Yeah, that was his career right there.
And it's really telling that when a player gets injured, and we'll get to it later on with some defensive players, but they get injured and don't really spend a lot of time out on the field, but they can keep coming back. That lets me know that they're going to be used in a special way, that they still have some use to them, you know, that they can contribute some way, somehow to the team, whether it be blocking or pass catching. I mean, who knows? Yeah. But Zylstra is still a surprise.
Yeah, I'm with Rumble. I really wanted Mitchell to take this role, you know, but injuries just really hurt him. And I definitely think that the Lions will be looking at tight end in the draft later on in the rounds. You know, I like Gunnar Oaks. I mean, if they put Gunnar Oaks on practice squad, this guy could definitely step into that Zylstra role. I mean, he's more of a receiving tight end, but depending on what they want as a run blocker, or they want more of a passing tight end, you know.
Well, if Zach Horton can get himself together, because he was the one that impressed him the most out of those three that got cut. If he can handle his penalties, because he has a thing for penalties, but he's a good blocker and a good catcher out the backfield, and that's what they're looking for as a backup. So I mean, he'll probably be on
him or Gunner make the practice squad. Yeah, definitely. Real quick, real quick, we don't talk about this guy a lot, and we should. Sam Laporta. What kind of year do you think Sam Laporta is going to have?
Probably no different than he had last year.
I think he's going to have better numbers this time around. I think that Johnny Morton is going to do a little bit more with him this year than what Ben Johnson did. I think they're going to draw some plays up for him because he's a very versatile player. He can block and run. And I think he's too good of a player to just have blocking. That's a guy that you also can use in the goal line situations, pick up a first down. And Sam Laporta has proven that time and time again. I thought he was underutilized last year, so I think he gets Pro Bowl numbers.
Where do you put him on the target list for the Lions?
I'm going to say, as crazy as this may sound, I'm going to say number 2, behind St. Brown.
I say 3. I think J-Mo is a really 4. Big year.
You know why I say 4? Because they're making Gibbs a target now. And Gibbs gets more target. That takes more away from tight ends.
That is true. Yeah, Johnny Morton is definitely trying to cook up something there with Gibbs.
Possibly.
We'll
see.
If
you look last year with look at what's the guy's name? Numbnuts from Denver, Bo Nix. One of his best friends was his tight end, and I think Morton is going to kind of bring that same element over to Detroit. But we'll see. I was always told that a tight end is a quarterback's best friend, and I think that we're kind of shifting toward having tight ends be kind of that number 2 receiver. While I think J-Mo is still going to get a lot of catches, I do think that Sam Laporta is going to get a bulk of the catches.
Well, also, too, if Johnny Morton's plan is to spread the offense out and go deeper on routes, that's going to open up the middle for Laporta to eat a lot. And Laporta on the linebacker is a mismatch. Laporta is very athletic, and, he's just scratching the surface as his game. Like, his game's only going to get better. And you look at last year. Last year was an off year, and he still almost had 800 yards and 5 or 6 touchdowns. It's impressive. So
my bad. You go ahead.
And to your point there, Jay. Yeah, teams that say that a tight end's a quarterback best friend, it's because they don't have anything else.
Yeah, that's exactly.
The Lions got way too many weapons.
That's very true. That's a good point. Yeah, it's only your best friend when you don't have anybody else to hang out with.
I'm wondering, now this is just me a question. I'm wondering if they do take the more deeper route, like I'm going to take more shots down the field, or are we trying to keep the chains moving? Are we going to try to get ball control? Are we going to, try to get first downs here, run some clock out and then get another first down?
Well,
I wonder what they're going to bring.
Here's the thing. You have J-Mo at 6'2" with electric speed. You have Tesla at 6'4" with really good hands. You're going to throw those balls up more for them to go get them. And so I definitely do think you're going to have to utilize more of the deep ball, which is going to open up the middle. So either way. But let's move on. Offensive line, Panay, Decker, Mahogany, Ratledge, Glasgow, Giovanni Manu, Coyote, Kingsley, Jamarco Jones. So cut was Gunnar Britton, Tristan Colon, Zach Johnson, Mason Miller, Muti, Nice, and Mr. Skipper. So talk to me about what y'all think.
It was the only person I'm kind of surprised that got cut was Dan Skipper. And I know that's kind of given for everybody, but Dan Skipper was one of our, I'm not going to say one of our best linemen, but he was there for the team. I mean, he played a big part in the run blocking game, pass blocking game. He's very familiar with the team, kind of that vet. I just want to know what happened. Why did he get cut? Now, if there have been contract issues or whatever, I don't know, but that's probably. I think
so. So my thing is that we know we talked about Khalif Raymond. Khalif Raymond was the best receiver at one point, and then you draft guys, and he kind of slips down the depth chart. The same thing with Skipper. Skipper's not a good tackle. I mean, let's just be real. Like, I mean, he's okay, but he struggles with speed rushers, and he can be a turnstile at times as a tackle. He's probably better suited as a guard. The problem is that you have a lot of guards. You have Kingsley that you brought up. You have a Coyote that's a guard. You have Frazier that's going to come back at some point. Glasgow, Tate, you've got a lot of guards already. And so at some point you got to let those guys develop. And I think it was a numbers game. Now, I think they will bring it back on the practice squad.
I do have a question really quick. So knowing that we kind of got question marks at our guard, and I know Tate Ratledge, everybody expects him to go out there and, do good. But what if that's not the case? I think the next person that would be better suited for the position outside of Glasgow is Skipper, because he was a good guard, right? Yeah. Now, that's a vet. Like I said, that's somebody familiar with the team and really good with Jared Goff. How does that work? Do you trust Kingsley or?
Well, they might bring back Skipper still, so he'll still be there. But go ahead, B. You're gonna say something.
Just a question.
I don't understand why they let Dan Skipper go, and I understand this guy had a pretty good camp, but Jamarco Jones, he's so injury prone. Mm-hmm. It's Dan Skipper was tough. He stayed in there, and he might not be the great tackle, but you're not looking for that. Being a starter, he's not a starter. So I'm looking for him to play a couple of downs or a few downs or play out the rest of a game for the tackle he's got to replace and make it through the game. I'm not asking him to be a world beater. I'm asking him to step up in a depth chart. This is things that people have to understand about people that are behind your starters. They're not starters because they're not starters. They're secondary and third people.
Right. So if they were good, if they were really good,
Jamarco Jones gets injured too much. I mean, if he comes in and replace somebody gets injured, what the hell? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like that.
But I'll push back on that. B. Balloon payment soon. Maybe, I don't know.
See, that's the thing. Now, when we're talking about that he's due a payment, now how much are we talking, and why would that be a big deal to bring a guy like him back? And a guy that's familiar with the office and can contribute.
Yeah, and the thing is, with your third tackle, it's usually a swing tackle. It's somebody who you can start in the situation with your left tackle goes down and your right tackle goes down. This, what this tells me, guys? This tells me that they feel Manu's ready at some point to contribute. And that's fine. I'm glad to hear that, because, we look at some of the players that got cut today. They were projects and they're done. We're done with them. We're not messing around. Manu's not that type of guy. Manu's a grinder. He is really learning the game as quick as possible. And I think really working with Decker has really helped a lot. So this just tells me Manu's ready to contribute this year. Which I'm excited for.
It tells me one or two things as well. Either Manu is ready, or they're just like, we can't give up on this kid yet, because we said the same with Broderick Martin, 2 years ago. Right. And everybody thought Broderick Martin going into his second year was going to make an impact till we seen how he played. So I mean, I surely hope he's ready. Because
I don't know if he's ready. I think he still has considerable work to be done before he's NFL ready. I think what they did was they kind of they play around with the roster. The Lions staff does a lot, and maybe they just cut Dan Skipper because they need a veteran presence on the practice squad. And if they could do that and get him back on the practice squad, they can
always elevate him.
Giovanni, send Giovanni down there and bring Dan Skipper up like they kind of did last year. Because remember, Giovanni was a healthy scratch all last year because he's a project.
That's my point, is that he was a healthy scratch last year. He learned, he got better. He worked with Decker. He's doing all the right things. At some point, you got to take the training wheels off and let him play.
I wouldn't do that with a guy like that until the third season, though.
Well,
sorry, couldn't do it this season.
That's fine. That's your opinion. The thing is that if he goes, if heaven forbid something happens to Penei Sewell or Decker, he probably will go in over Jamarco Jones. I'm just saying.
You trust him in that position?
I mean, we'll find out.
Let's just say, God forbid.
Well, I tell you, I would probably put him over Jamarco Jones too. Yeah. That's how much I feel about Jamarco Jones.
I mean,
I was just about to say, B, that says a lot.
Yeah, I mean, fellas, if we lose one of our top tackles, we're screwed. Let's just be honest, okay? It's just as bad as losing a quarterback.
Absolutely.
So at that point, I want to see what Giovanni has in the tank. So that's just me. But all right, let's move on. Let's move to defense. So the big topic here: defensive ends. Aiden Hutchinson, Davenport, Alquahim Muhammad. Cut was Mitchell Agude, Ahmed Hassan on an injury settlement, Nate Lynn, and Isaac Owuku. All right.
And Josh Pascal's
on the NFI. Yeah. And according to Dan, he probably won't be back for probably a little bit. So probably maybe the second month of the season. So let's talk about it. What do y'all feel?
Just going to say, considering we only have 3 defensive ends, it tells me that the Lions are still looking for more defensive ends. Now, whether it be Zadarius Smith or maybe they're just out there looking for guys that other teams may not want. Yeah. But you don't walk into a season with 2 starters and one of those guys being injury prone. I mean, really, let's just be honest.
Start him, please, on Chicago. Please do that, please.
And so with that being said, I think that they're still out there looking for another guy, maybe another 2 guys.
Yeah.
Because Alquahim Muhammad, Aiden Hutchinson, and Davenport, I don't think that would be enough pass rushers for that defense. So we'll see how that plays out.
Go ahead, B.
So, I mean, Nate Lynn will come back on the practice squad. I wouldn't be surprised.
Probably Wuku, too.
Uku will probably do it too. I didn't think he was going to start. Too many people are saying, he's going to make the final 53. I said, no.
That was my prediction.
Uku is on that edge of being. He reminds me a lot of. I'm sorry, I had to say this. He reminds me a lot of Houston. How Houston was. Mm-hmm. He has that same. He dials in a lot in some instances, and other instances he just isn't good at all. So I didn't think he was going to make the 53.
Yeah, that was one of the guys, and I was thinking the same thing. That was the reason why I thought he would have made the 53-man roster, because he reminded me of a more talented Houston, but they're kind of one and the same player. Mm-hmm. So, I guess I just had high hopes for the kid.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Okay, so we can all agree that more likely there's 3 roster spots open right now. Mm-hmm. The Lions are probably in the market for a defensive end, whether they trade for one or whether they get one off waivers or whatever, free agency. Do y'all have any names outside of Zadarius Smith? Do y'all have any name? I'm so tired of hearing about Zadarius Smith. If y'all have any names of anybody that you want to throw out there that the Lions could look at and why?
So it could be sign or trade.
Let me see something here.
Either way,
because I want to see if
I definitely have someone, and that guy is Trey Hendrickson. Now, before everybody gets upset and start beating me up over it, Trey Hendrickson just got another 14 mil. And he gets like an extra 4
got a 1-year deal,
something like that. So the Bengals basically kicked themselves in the ding because at the end of the season, he becomes a free agent. There's nothing they can do about that. So I think the Bengals. Yeah.
So why trade for him if you can get him?
May trade him. And I got a question for the both of you guys. Would you guys give up like a 2nd or 3rd round pick before the trade deadline to acquire Kayvon Thibodeau from the Giants?
Thibodeau's going to want a payday.
Contract year. They got Carter over there. And they have, what's his name, Brian Burns. I don't think they want to keep him over there. I think that's the reason they Carter.
If I'm trading for a defensive end, I want a defensive end that's got a couple of years left on their contract. I do not want to have to pay somebody right off the bat because you've got to still pay 97. Like we got to understand that 97 still has got to get paid.
But that's not till next year though, right? That's not till next year where the salary cap is going to go up, and I don't think he's going to get like the NFL defensive type market right now because he's going to have to prove himself one. And if you trade for him, he can also test free agency at the end of the season. You don't have to sign him to a multi-year deal. I mean, if he goes out there and he performs and he goes out and have a 12.5 sack season or 10, 12 sack season, you can pay him a nice amount, but you don't have to give him the max contract like Aiden Hutchinson would get.
Yeah, he'll be 32 years old. You were talking about
Giants
trade.
did go. Let's see. I'm looking at this. The guy in the Giants, Ojulari, he was let go. I don't see him anywhere on the Giants roster, so that'd be a guy to pick up. I could deal with that.
He's injury prone too, though. That's the only thing. Sorry, Robbie. I'm over here having a brain fart, but no, Kayvon Thibodeau isn't on the trade block, but they're going to have to pay him. Now,
and they also got Brian Burns too.
Exactly. They have a lot of people that they're going to pay as well. I don't think Kayvon Thibodeau is one, and them drafting Carter is kind of an indication that they aren't going to pay him. You know what I mean? They're not going to have 3 defensive tackles that are going to be making. And
realistically, let's just be honest. Like, I mean, I'm okay with Davenport or Mohammed starting the season opposite of Aiden. You know, and like if you want to bring in a guy like Ojulari or you want to bring in a younger guy, I'm totally fine with that. Give him depth, you know, like. But realistically, we're not going to find a starter outside of maybe Za'Darius is going to come in and just start right off the bats. You know what I'm saying? Because if they were that good, they would already be on a roster. Let's just be honest. You know, they're either old or they have injury problems. That's why they're in free agents right now. So, but if you want to bring Ojulari in, I'm totally okay with that. Because if you want to create a rotation of Aiden, Davenport, Ojulari, Mohammed, you know, that I could go with that. And Josh comes back later, or you bring up Nate Lynn. Nate Lynn's only 23 years old, y'all. Like, and he was one of the guys that had a lot of success in rushing the passer in preseason. I think he led the team with pressures and win rates. So yeah, keep an eye on that guy.
Yeah, and speaking of Pascal, you know, like I say, I'm like puzzled as to why he's still on the team, and he hadn't been healthy over the past 2 seasons, and he just hasn't performed. I mean, now he's going to be coming up on a contract year as well. Yeah. Now,
you know what saved him though? Him getting injured. That's what saved him. I bet you if he was still active, they would have cut him. But they can't cut an injured guy. So especially when they put on a puck. So they're not going to do that. Exactly. So yeah.
No, they could still cut him at some point if he comes back and gets hurt again, or trade. Nobody's going to trade for that guy.
Yeah.
Trade him for a sack of potatoes. But anyways,
that's a 7th round pick, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I get your frustration with Josh. I mean, obviously, I think also too the cancer, you know, has been a kind of derailment of his career because he's always had. Huh?
Alleged.
No, he's had cancer. Yeah.
Do we know that for sure?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't want to put that out there.
He's talked about it multiple times. Like even Dan said the last time he got sick, it was because I think he had something with the cancer because they were real coy about it. They didn't say exactly what it was, but we all knew that it was probably something with the cancer. But the thing is that you got to understand when you have cancer, it weakens your body and immune system completely because you're taking all these medications. So you got to think about every time he has some kind of lapse or something like that, he's got to build himself back up. Yeah. And even when you build yourself back up, your body's not 100% strength wise, and you're more prone for injuries. So it's kind of, you know.
Yeah, I got you for sure. I'm going to say that I am not a doctor. Please do not take medical advice from me or this show. But you know, his alleged cancer. Unfortunately, I'm not sure what happens beyond that. But
this is derailed his career. That's
he's had a lot of health issues. I'll put it to you that way. And I know that when he was drafted out of Kentucky, they were kind of ranting and raving about him, saying that he's really good. He can set the edge. He can stop the run. I haven't really seen much of that. Yeah, really from him at all. And I just want to see someone who's consistent, somebody in that defensive end rotation who can be consistent. And that's why I'm kind of looking at Zadarius Smith. I know a lot of people like, can we put that to bed? But that's a guy that's out there that's still keeping himself up, keeping himself in shape, that wants to be here, and a guy that you can give 15 to 20 snaps per game, and he can be that consistent guy opposite.
It's just a matter of how much money he wants and how much.
Right, exactly. You give him $5 million, $6 million, and say, here you go. This is your 1 year deal right here.
He wants 12 to 13, bro.
And if he wants 12 or 13 million, you can kick rocks. You can go try to find that elsewhere, because
that's where we're at right now, bud.
He wants Detroit, and I can
12
guarantee
million.
you that no team out there is going to want to pay a 32, 33-year-old defensive end that type of money.
Exactly.
So
especially when you got to pay 97.
Exactly. So, I'd just say, if that's the case, I'll defend the franchise on it. But, okay. I mean, we don't know what's out there. There are no reports of them being in contact with each other. We don't know.
Yeah.
But
there's communication, I'm pretty sure,
You better believe somebody will pay that money for him. If they need him, they will. You got to understand, it's the NFL. Teams don't care.
Stupid team.
The Lions are one of those frugal franchises right now. That's what it is. They're like the Patriots used to be. Remember, Patriots didn't pay for players. They drafted all their players. They got cheap players. That's exactly how the Lions are built.
A team who would pay them is the Cincinnati Bengals. They had kicked what's his name Hendrickson, and then go around and pay Zadarius Smith. That's the type.
Well,
of
here's something to think about. And I'm going to push back on what B said. There's got to be something more than just the money. Something about his character. I don't know what it is, because look at the Commanders. The Commanders literally paid Von Miller a contract to come play for them. You're telling me that they couldn't get Zadarius Smith to come play for them? They desperately need a pass rusher.
But I'd rather have Von Miller for sure over Zadarius Smith. 100%.
Really? At his age?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Von Miller is still very effective.
I mean, God, don't get me wrong. I love.
I think
he wasn't too effective last year.
He got hurt too.
He got hurt.
That's the problem. He the last 2 seasons he's been injury riddled.
Yeah,
but that's what happens when you get older.
But that's my point. Is that they didn't even look at Zadarius.
Yeah, like he don't need to be effective.
Maybe
as
they
he was
didn't. He just didn't want to play for him.
Or maybe
could be that too. It could be just the fact that Zadarius has a place where he wants to be at, and right now the 2 sides aren't getting along, and that's the Lions and him. Maybe he wants to play for the Lions. Maybe he feels comfortable here.
He's got to lower his price down.
Yeah,
maybe he will.
He's still got it's still a business at the end of the day. People still got to make money. It costs a lot of insurance on a Ferrari. So,
well, he ain't no Ferrari.
That's for damn sure. Super Bowl ring last year with the Lions. I don't know if anybody saw that, but I mean, it's writing's on the wall. He wants to be here. I just want to know why they aren't leaking any reports of contact or what.
I mean, all they're doing is talking. All they've been leaking out is they've been talking to him. That's about it.
All right. Moving on. Let's talk about defensive tackles. So we got Reeder, Tyleek, Pat O'Connor, Roy Lopez, Chris Smith, and Wingo. Cut was Miles Adams, Keith Cooper. I was a big fan of Keith Cooper. I had him on my 53. And Broderick Martin. Any surprises there?
Chris Smith probably.
Yeah,
instead of Cooper.
That's a head scratcher. Yeah, I would have taken Cooper. I like Cooper.
But Chris Smith is their favorite. Let me tell you something. This is the same thing they did last year too, and the year before. They've had Chris Smith for at least 3 seasons, and he hasn't. He does okay in a preseason games. Mm-hmm. I mean, okay, not great. He's level, and they love him at practice.
Yeah.
And with that being said, the Lions. This is where I thought sometimes the Lions had regime. It's they fall in love with players and they keep them because they fell in love with them. And Chris Smith is not the guy. Okay, I'd rather have Keith Cooper in there.
Yeah.
If they're going to keep Chris Smith, put him on the practice squad.
And I think also to be when when Aline comes back, Chris Smith will probably be cut. But also too. I think the reason why Chris Smith's on this roster is because Levi's out too. If Levi wasn't out, he'd be on the roster, and we wouldn't be having this debate. So I don't know why they keep him. That's like you said, the Lions fall in love with certain players, and maybe he's this culture guy. I don't know. Jay, what's your thoughts? We're gonna kind of pick up a little bit, guys, because we got to.
I think that the only surprise to me is Project Martin, and damn, it took too long. It couldn't happen a day sooner. It's just Project Martin. I mean, really, for the past couple of seasons, we've seen that he just made no progress. There was nothing that indicated that he played football really well, or he can throw him out there in a critical situation. I mean, even when McNeil went down last season, he still didn't get to see the playing time that he should have. So that was telling. I mean, I'm just kind of glad that they got him out of there. I mean, no disrespect to him. I'm not saying, oh, you got cut. No, it's just more so if I think they can put a better player in that role that he was in, and that guy could be a little bit more effective than Roger.
You know what else that comes to mind about Broderick Martin is that AG was the guy that would defend Broderick Martin a lot of times. AG's not here anymore. Shep is running the defense. That's not a Shep guy. So it was an easy call for him to say, hey, if you're not kicking ass in the preseason, you're gone. And I think a lot of these players, again, that these weren't Shep's guys. Like Shep, now that Shep is the DC, now he's calling the shots. So a lot of these are AG guys that got cut, so Shep's kind of cleaning house a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. Anything else on the D tackles?
No.
All right. Linebackers: Jack Campbell, Alex Anzalone, Derek Barnes, Grant Stewart, Trevor Nowalski, Zach Cunningham. I'm gonna tell you right now, I really like this linebacking crew.
No
top
surprise.
To bottom. And Rodrigo, and he's not even there yet. So, yeah.
Nowalski, yes, that was a bit of surprise because he didn't play really well in the preseason. I didn't really hear too much about him in
they like Nowalski. They nice,
but they like the guy. I mean, yeah, they like the guy. I just didn't see anything that stood out. But Grant Stewart. That guy is a missile. That guy is a missile. The only thing
he's got gray hair.
He cannot cover tight ends, but we don't need him to do that. We need him to go out there and stop the run. If we need him to blitz and get to the quarterback, we've seen what he can do. So, I mean, that guy, he's a heat-seeking missile, man. Seriously.
Go ahead,
you need to put pressure on the quarterback, throw him out there.
Yeah, I pretty much picked all these guys to be on the final linebackers. I'm glad they got rid of Anthony Pittman. Ezekiel Turner probably would have got cut too, but he had to. He went to IR. Yeah, I do not like Ezekiel Turner. I can't stand him. I can't stand Pittman.
He was bad. He was bad in that Buffalo game. They target the hell out of him.
Yeah, Deron Gilbert will probably be on the practice squad. Of course, we still have Malcolm Rodriguez coming back from IR next month. So month or two. So we'll see what's going on with that. But our linebacking core is actually pretty good. It's probably one of the top 5 in the NFL.
I agree.
I would say.
This is the first.
The only problem with these linebackers is there's only one that can really cover out the backfield, and the rest of them are That's something that's got to change with the Lions. They need to start getting more linebackers.
I'll play devil's advocate. There's not a lot of linebackers in the NFL that can cover really well. Maybe about 5 or 6 at a handful out of all the linebackers in the NFL. So, but you
got to start from somewhere.
I agree. I agree.
Exactly, being in the division that we're in.
You can't just keep drafting guys. You can't keep drafting or getting guys that can't cover out the backfield. You can't do that.
Especially with the players that are in our division now, with Colson Loveland, DeAndre Smith. What's the other guy's name? Cole Kmet. You got Aaron Jones over there with Minnesota. Also, TJ Hopkins. It's very important that our linebackers can cover.
Yeah, but that's the problem is that most people don't have linebackers can cover Laporta and Gibbs in the flat. There's too much athleticism coming into the game, and the linebacker doesn't have that kind of speed. You're talking about an elite linebacker that has the speed, the size, and the awareness to cover a guy like a Gibbs, a guy like Laporta.
Depending on Shep's defensive scheme, is he going to run a lot of zone? Is he going to run a lot of man? Because I wouldn't trust any of our linebackers in man.
I guarantee he's running a lot of man.
I wouldn't trust our linebackers in man coverage. I'm just going to be honest. If you may keep up with them for maybe 2 to 3 seconds, but other than that, they're going to break loose. And
we'll see.
I mean, that's going to be
a nickel though. If they play nickel, nickel man, then that would be an advantage for the Lions because they got great cover guys. Right. Secondary. But I'm with you with can't cover the people at the backfield. I mean, there's there's one guy at least on every team, most of every team out of like half of the teams in the league that can cover somebody coming out the backfield. Now, like I said, I believe that Jack Campbell's pretty good at doing that. So we'll see how he progresses. And
Alex shown some if you look at some of the joint practices.
Shit.
I mean,
Alex
I'm just saying,
burnt like a piece of toast sometimes.
Well,
you gotta watch him.
Against Gibbs he does, but when you watch some of the joint practice videos, he was out there covering the flat with those Texan running backs. So I'm just saying. But
I get the Texas running backs. They didn't have their starting Texas running backs out there either.
Every time I seen Anzalone, his back was turned, and you seen the back of his jersey. Them getting burnt.
All I'm gonna say this is that I sleep better at night knowing that if something happens to Barnes, Jack, or Alex, we've got guys that can step in.
Mm-hmm.
Grant Stewart can step in and start. Rodrigo could step in and start.
Zach Cunningham, let's not forget about him.
Can come in and start. Exactly. They all can play. Yeah, the Texans. I was listening to the Texan broadcast, and they were so mad that we got Zach Cunningham because he was on the Texans, and they love that guy. So yeah, I'm glad we have him. But moving on, defensive backs. You got TA, DJ, Amik, Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, Rock Ya-Sin, Avante Maddox, Khalil Dorsey. I'm not going to go through all the cuts here. Just Nick Whiteside was the one, and Strickland was the one that got cut. Probably going to make the practice squad. Any thoughts on that?
Well, go ahead, Jay.
My bad. I keep stealing your thunder, man. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, Bert. No, because I keep going out in front. No, it's your turn, brother. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, no surprise. I like our DBs, man. Seriously, our DBs are pretty good. I think that this is safety and cornerback. I think that this is the strength of our defense right here for now. One person I really, really got to speak about is Rock Ya-Sin. And that guy right there, you've seen every game he played in the preseason. That dude looked like he was a starter on every single play. Didn't blow any assignments. He didn't cost any knucklehead penalties. He wasn't getting beat out there. He was very physical. Now, when he tackled, you see he was very physical. So that was one guy that really stood out to me most in our secondary over the preseason, the span of the preseason. And I'm just glad that the Lions got him. I'm glad they kept him because that guy's going to be good. I guarantee you that guy's going to be good.
Go ahead, B.
So the cornerbacks they have is Terrion Arnold, DJ Reed, Amik Robinson, Rock Ya-Sin, and Khalil Dorsey. Eric Hallett and Nick Whiteside will probably be on the practice squad. Hallett, he goes two ways too. He goes to safety and a cornerback, so he can play both roles as well. And he played pretty well, and Whiteside played pretty well. Yeah. Rock Ya-Sin had a couple of oopsies in preseason. There was a couple of like the one in the Houston game. He got beat pretty bad. But I mean that's the reason why he's in the position he's in. He's not a starter. He's somebody that's going to back up a starter. So that's fine. I can deal with that. As far as the safeties are concerned, I mean, you got Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, and Avante Maddox. I think they're going to bring back Ian Kennelly as the practice squad. Damn. And Maurice Norris, unfortunately, he had a bad injury at the wrong time. I don't think he's coming back. But they will get they may bring Lawrence Strickland back, too. Lawrence Strickland is pretty good. He's not great. He's not better than I think Kennelly has been better than him, but we'll see what happens.
Kennelly's a developing player, no doubt. I will say this about Rock Ya-Sin. Keep an eye on Rock Ya-Sin in those safety packages because all preseason he pretty much played safety, and they feel like his size and the way he's a physical tackler, he could be a safety or at least come in on those three safety situations. But they also could do with that with Maddox too. So. Again, this is another position that I can sleep well at night knowing that if something happens to TA or DJ or Meek, these guys could step in and be somewhat formidable. I mean, we know how cornerback is a very hard position. We're not asking them to come out and be world beaters, but I don't think that they're garbage either. I think that, you won't have a heart attack if Maddox goes in, or you won't have a heart attack if Rock Ya-Sin goes in, or maybe Dorsey a little bit, but yeah.
Something I know I can sleep at night on Kendall Vildor is not on our secondary anymore.
There you go. That's what I'm saying.
I can tell you that we don't have to worry
that man alone.
bouncing off the face.
Yeah,
man.
I mean,
Or iffy.
Come on, man. Seriously.
But
Dude, that play will go down as one of the most crazy.
We're not gonna go. We're not gonna go there, Jay. Let's not go there. Let's go forward, not backwards.
I'm glad that he's not there anymore. Let's just say that.
But I will say this, that if you look at who we lost this year and we had last year, you talked about Iffy, you talked about Vildor, you talked about Mosley, and you replaced basically with Rockison, Avante Maddox, and Dorsey's still there. So, but you know what I'm saying? You upgraded that position and you got some depth. So I feel better going forward. I think TA is gonna have a great year, and I think that Reed is gonna be stellar. So I mean, if God willing, those two dudes stay healthy, and Meek's gonna be Meek, I think you're looking at a really good secondary. So
yeah, I mean, this is probably their strongest position.
Oh, definitely.
No doubt. On the defense upside, yeah.
And finally, Def Taxes and Lions special teamers: Jake Bates, Hoagie, I call him Hoagie, and Fox. Anything else to say about that? I mean, Fox looked like he was prime in the preseason. He was booting them crazy. Yeah. Well played, Rumble. Well played. Well, anyways, that is our roster breakdown. So we have our 50 people. We'll kind of see what happens with what Dan and Brad got cooking up. Obviously, the practice squad has the practice squad been released at all, or anybody any rumors on practice squad yet, y'all?
No, not yet.
No, not yet. Not that I've seen.
Because you got to remember, everybody's on waivers right now, so any team can go out there and get whoever they want to until.
Yeah, probably tomorrow there'll be some.
Tomorrow morning you will hear a lot of news.
I'm pretty sure the first person to be announced at the practice squad is going to be Dan Skipper, and everybody's going to be elated and excited.
Well, Brad Holmes is giving his press conference at the end of the week, so we'll definitely know for sure what's going on.
Definitely.
Then, so
we'll talk more about that the next show for sure. All right, y'all. Well, now it's time. We've been wanting to do this for a long, long time. Went through all the divisions, talked about everybody else's teams. Now it's personal. Now it's time to talk about the guys in our division, because that's what matters, right? Nothing else matters except being NFC North champs again, right? We want that again. Exactly. So let's bring on the contestants.
Well, right now we have one, and that is our friend from the Green Bay Packers, Ken, the bearded fan.
What's up, Ken?
What up?
Hey, he really does have the beard going.
I thought his hair was green.
He's got a good beard.
I was about to say, I thought
Ken. He's got a good beard going.
All right. Well, welcome back, Ken. It's good to see you.
What's up?
We always like having you on the podcast. Where are we? Are we still waiting on the people, B? Or
yeah, we're still waiting on other people.
Okay.
What we could do is just ask Ken. How did you feel about your 53-man roster?
Yeah, talk about that.
I like a lot of it. My major gripe about it, and it's a small one, is that Canadian quarterback we had there, or whatever the hell how you pronounce it.
You guys kept him on the roster?
No, we ended up cutting him.
Oh, okay.
Which hopefully we're going to be able to put him on the practice squad, because I think this kid could develop into a damn good backup. Mm-hmm. And what made me happy, smile, and dance for joy is we have cut Sean Clifford. Now I hope he doesn't end up on the practice squad, because holy shit, after these 3 years of watching him, this guy can't play quarterback. I mean, he's a decent guy and all that. They like him around the area.
Yeah.
But I'm not paying you. The Green Bay Packers aren't paying you to be everybody's friend. What they're paying you for is to go out there and actually learn how to be a quarterback.
And what's funny too, Robert? Packer fans are so talk out of both sides of their mouth sometimes. Like you're here you are dogging Clifford, and all I remember when you guys got him in the draft is, oh, Clifford this, Clifford that. He's going to be this good as Alcee Willis.
I guarantee you can look at any show I have ever done And you will never hear those words come out of my mouth because I wasn't a big fan of Clifford. When we first drafted him, I figured, okay, hopefully we can develop this guy. Maybe. No. That maybe is a hard fucking no.
I see you got rid of Simmons, too.
Yeah, that one I was kind of disappointed in because the guy's extremely athletic.
That's another guy y'all were talking hot heavy about, and then you guys cut him.
Oh yeah, because he was doing great in camp.
Yeah,
he's a good player.
He looked real good, but the same problem is that's been all through his career is that the guy just can't complete everything. That you have it physically, but I don't know if it's that you don't grasp what you're supposed to do. If you've been played in too many positions, you don't know what's going on. You're confused. I don't know what the hell it is, but the guy doesn't work out once it gets to live game action.
Yeah.
Now,
I want to talk
about Mecole Hardman. That's a guy that, I know the Packers are really looking for receivers. I know you got Golden, you got Reed, but Mecole Hardman is a guy that could actually he is a third guy, right? Like he's an experienced guy. He's a two-time champion with the Chiefs. Why'd you tell him what
Yes, but Mecole Hardman wasn't brought in to really be a receiver. He was brought in to be the return specialist.
But is that Keyshawn Nixon's job?
No, Keyshawn, now that he's going to be a starting corner, isn't going to handle those duties anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And
He's going to be a starting corner? Wow.
Yep. I'm iffy on it because he's a ball hawk, but there are sometimes he gets himself burned, which, I mean, you got to take it with the ball hawk type of guys.
He's got speed to make up for it.
Oh yeah. I just personally prefer Kerryon Valentine as the starting outside corner.
What about the other Valentine?
He just got cut too.
Valentine got cut.
Valentine just got cut too, right?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
Kerryon made the roster.
You like Valentine, but you didn't like Valentine, right?
Yes.
And we say Valentine with a B. That's the guy got cut.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Not Valentine like the holiday.
Not the holiday.
Not like Cupid.
Yeah.
Not like Cupid.
All right. Well, let's welcome the other person to the show.
What's going on, man?
Mike,
how you doing?
Mike, the Viking fan.
What's up, Mike?
There.
Yeah, Mike's been on the show before, right, Mike?
Yep, Mike's been here.
Yeah. Well, good to have you, bud.
Appreciate it.
Look like you're enjoying yourself outside.
It's actually not 104 degrees outside, and it's nice, so I'm gonna suck it up.
Bonus.
Suck it up, Buttercup. There you go.
Suck it up.
And Mike, you're a fan of the Vikings, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, we're waiting on the Bear fans. Surprisingly, they're always late.
They probably won't show up like every Sunday.
Yeah, nice. Shots fired
I reached
out
to my guy. He said he hadn't gotten anything yet, so I'm just waiting on him to respond.
We had three Bear fans that we talked to, and surprisingly, that one's here. Go figure.
I have been doing my due diligence, reaching out to so many people, but
Woody's going to be late.
Okay.
Nobody wants
Woody's
to talk.
a Bear fan, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. Woody's a Bear fan. Yep.
Okay. So how late's he going to be? Just kind of. Did he say?
He'll probably be here when we have like a half hour left of the show. Because he gets off at 8. So
all right. Well, we got a Viking and we got a Packer fan. They can go at each other.
I was gonna say Mike and I are used to going at each other.
There you go. Perfect.
So let's ask Mike those same questions. Break down your 53-man roster. Like, are you satisfied with it? Kind of any surprises?
I was surprised that they got rid of Mecole Blackman. That one, surprised
they traded him, right?
Yeah, they traded him to the Colts for a six-round draft pick, but the one that really surprised me was Harrison Phillips, nose guard.
Yeah, thank you. I was so glad when y'all traded him. I was like, what are the Vikings doing?
Yeah,
that was a beast.
Yeah, I mean, he was great in the middle. He was just an all-around good defensive lineman. I was surprised by that. And then I can't think of it. Gordon, who they cut today, I think he was offensive tackle, but I think he's going to go to the practice squad. But there really wasn't any cuts. I was surprised with the Sam Howell trade, but we got more back in return for him than what we gave for him. But I think Kawisi is just stocking stocking draft picks, and he's going to do something with 11 draft picks. So
Right.
I'm really concerned about a receiving core right now. We haven't made any moves. I was really surprised about the champagne glass brittle Carson Wentz as our QB2. Dude can't stay healthy to save his life. I think he even got hurt holding a clipboard last year in Kansas City.
My God.
Honest question, Mike. I'm going to ask you a real question here. The Carson Wentz signing, does that say more about the lack of faith that they might have in JJ early on?
I think it has a lack of faith in Mark Rippon, Sam Howell, and what was the other one?
Well, actually,
obviously it didn't matter because
didn't matter. Yeah.
Did Bozeman make the team?
I think Max made the team.
And I like Bozeman. That's a dude. I
liked him in New Hampshire, and I liked him what he did in Minnesota. He turned that receiving core around, to where you actually got some receivers from Minnesota who are in the NFL now. Right. I think Max is going to move up. I think they brought Wentz in to mentor Max and JJ. I just think there was a better option, for a QB2, in my opinion. I think a lot of it, too, is that Carson Wentz is a North Dakota boy, was born and raised right up there. So I think this is kind of like the last hoorah, bringing him home to let him, ride off into the sunset type of thing. Yeah. But Kevin O'Connell is a quarterback whisperer, so he might revamp a career, and show him something that he didn't know and people didn't want to give him credit for. But we'll see. I'm optimistic. Like I was texting, Bistrilla the other day. Mm-hmm. Our secondary still sucks. Our receiving core is in shambles right now. JJ was at a full participant in practice, but Naylor's out for, I think, the year with a broken arm or hand or something like that.
Yeah, Naylor's out. Yeah.
So and they're in talks with Adam Thielen, but I heard they stalled out, and now KJ Osborne became available again. So that might not be a bad pickup, but we really don't have a receiving core right now.
That's surprising. I didn't hear about that. No, I know
surprising, very sad.
Yeah, it is. No, you were talking about Harrison Phillips being traded away. Now, how much do you think getting Hargrave impacted that? Like, kind of influenced that trade?
I think it had a lot to do with it. Harrison Phillips was a $7.5 million cap hit, and they picked up Hargraves for less than that. And the defensive line didn't stay healthy last year. The front four. So having a good second backup, or even having them on rotation, I would have never thought that they were going to get rid of but almost a Pro Bowler. He was in votes in the Pro Bowl. He missed.
He's a very good player. Yeah, he's a very good player.
And
don't mind Robbie. He's a troll.
Yeah, he's a Steeler fan, by the way. He loves the troll.
Talk about that undrafted guy. I think that undrafted guy made Harrison Phillips more expendable, because of the guy that you guys got undrafted that was a defensive tackle that was really
the one out of
preseason.
The one out of Georgia.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, he was, did really good. I was really surprised by how athletic he was and how quick he was, for a big guy.
No.
Calm down, Robbie.
Be nice, Robbie.
It's not my fault you're a Pittsburgh fan.
I got a question for you, Ken. I've been dying to ask a Packer fan this. How confident are you that the Packers will make a move to go out and get Micah Parsons?
It is absolutely so hilarious that you say that.
It's not happening.
Not because it's bad or anything like that or laughable. There's rumors going around right now that the trade is done and that they're just waiting on the contract to be accepted by Micah Parsons, that he's going to be getting paid about $45 million a year. Take this with a grain of salt. Nothing has been confirmed whatsoever, but that rumor just started going around like the past 5 months or so.
So you're telling me
Really?
that you paid Jordan Love $53 million and you're going to
55.
pay 55, thank you. $55 million and you might pay Micah Parsons $45 million. That's not the Packer way.
It's not the Packer way, but let me tell you, it is exactly what I've been begging for years out of Green Bay, is to go out and make some type of grand slam move like this and get in a player of Micah Parsons' caliber. That would absolutely do it. Now, again, this isn't confirmed or anything yet, but it's floating around heavy right now.
But hey, Ken, and me and you have known each other a long time.
Yep.
Don't you think that you should probably spend $45 million on some receivers?
Or cornerbacks?
With Matthew Golden being there, I'm not worried about it as bad because he, at least from camp and preseason, again, you got to take that with a grain of salt, but he looks to be that number one type of receiver.
Yeah.
I can do that.
All right. I want some shots fired here. We're playing too nice here. So let's.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stir the pot here, all right? Because I want my boys to unleash the hounds here on y'all. We've been waiting all summer to get at y'all. So let's do it. All right. First off, so tell me, both of y'all. We'll start with you, Mike, first. Tell me why, or tell us why, the Lions will not win the division.
And because they're the Lions is not a good answer.
Yeah.
The only reason I would say the division would be close is if the Lions don't stay healthy. Because right now you've got everybody back. You got Aiden back. You've got your running back core, your receivers. Goff is healthy. I see it as a close. I don't think Minnesota's going to go with 13 wins this year. I see us 11, on that. I don't think the Lions are going to sweep Minnesota again. I think it's going to be a split. If you guys stay healthy, you'll win the NFC North. And I'm saying that in realistic terms because Minnesota's young and we have an unproven quarterback, and we got two, running backs. Aaron Jones is getting a little bit older, long in the tooth. Mason, I don't know how he's going to perform in this new offense. Our secondary is still in shambles, but hopefully it gets better. So it's kind of a toss-up right now. It's dealer's choice, in my opinion.
Okay. Go ahead, Robert. I'm sorry,
Ken.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Ron fat Italian guy.
Y'all both look at me. My bad, bro. I'm so sorry.
Ken is a sensible one.
Yeah.
Ken is a sensible one.
All right.
Rob is a trash talker.
All right. Well. Since you said you want to trade some barbs here,
Let's go.
We'll start with you guys have lost a shit ton in your coaching department, and that is going to have a major impact. Take it from somebody who's lost offensive coordinators before because of them getting hired on other places, that this isn't something that just you get a magical transition that you don't miss a beat with. Usually it will. Usually it takes at least part of the season to be able to get everything to gel and to get it moving the way you want it to. And I'm not a big fan of Morton as an offensive coordinator from when he was at the Jets. He was very up and down there. Granted, he did have some good games, but he also had some absolutely horrible games too. Now for the offensive line, you guys have lost a lot in the interior of that offensive line. And we know how Jared Goff is. Once you hit him in the mouth a few times, he's known to turn the ball over. And that's what I think could be your downfall, is that Jared Goff is getting beat up too much and he's coughing the ball up, whether it's fumbles, interceptions, what have you.
All right. Get at him, guys. BJ, shots fired.
I'm going to be realistic here. I think that this division is going to be a lot closer than what it was last year. I do think that there are questions that we can ask about our coaching staff, but I mean, let's really not get it misunderstood. Denver had Johnny Morton as their offensive coordinator. They had one of the top offenses. They had a really good offense over there.
Passing game coordinator, yeah.
And he got a lot more weapons here in Detroit than he did over there in Denver. I think he has a more well-rounded quarterback that's more of a leader that already knows the game, and he has much better running backs, better offensive line as well. So, what happened to Mike?
Last Mike.
All right, but I do think that as well. Now, with Kelvin Shepherd, Kelvin Shepherd is different, right? Like Kelvin Shepherd knows his guys. He's one of the in-house hires that they had, and he already knows the strength and weaknesses of all of those players he have on there. Besides the new ones, he's still kind of learning them, figuring out what he can do with them and how he's going to use them. I do think that the subtraction of Kevin Zeitler and Frank Ragnow is going to be huge because, I mean, let's be honest, Frank Ragnow was one of the best players, not just centers, but best players in the NFL, and he kept Goff upright. That's going to be a question mark. But let's not get it misunderstood. You still got Penei Sewell, you still got Taylor Deckard, you still got what's his name? Numbnuts. I just was talking about him, but we still got a good offensive line. Really well. So Minnesota has gotten better. And I only thing I will say about JJ McCarthy is that how will JJ McCarthy fare in Minnesota's offense? Because he come from a Michigan team, they only threw the ball 20 times per game. Now going there with Kevin O'Connor, you're gonna have to throw the ball 30, 35 times a game. And we've seen JJ McCarthy throw a lot of interceptions at Michigan. I mean, he threw three.
Before Mike answers the question, B, go ahead and defend.
Yeah, I know. I'm just going on. Have to get that out.
Well, Ken, what do you think is your best? What is your best position group on your team right now?
Oh, probably running back or safety.
Because we sure as fuck know it ain't quarterback.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, no, it's not Minnesota over here with a giant question mark.
Quite frankly, neither one of y'all have the reason to talk about the quarterback. Goff's been kicking y'all's ass since he came into the North. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, he might have snuck out a couple of wins because he happened to be on a better team. But quarterback to quarterback, their turnover ratio, they have roughly the same, and Jordan Love actually edges them out over the past couple of years.
Which is crazy because Jordan Love averaged a pick every game last year almost. I think at one point he threw 8 picks in a row.
I was going to say in the beginning of the year, yes. Yeah. After that, he went multiple games without throwing a single one.
Yeah, well, the Toyota commercial came on. That's why he plays well. Yeah, he plays well when the Toyota commercial comes on, the Toyota-thon.
Toyota-thon Love is untouchable.
Yeah, he plays like they must give him a Toyotas or something like that.
No,
it looks good.
I swear to God, they literally put him in a Toyota commercial. I swear to God, I laughed my ass off.
Now, Ken, how do you feel about Jordan Love making $55 million a year, but you don't think that's the strongest position? How do you feel about that?
I'm not against it because I think it can be the strongest position. That I think he has the traits for it. This is the year that's going to be, are you just going to be a good starting quarterback, or are you going to be that franchise possible Hall of Famer? And I'm using possible because it's way too early to say anything here.
The answer is no to both of them statements.
Yeah,
no. He's not a Minnesota quarterback.
I've got a quarterback that's 22 years old.
Yeah,
that was
rookie year.
He's not making max contract money either.
Yeah.
I mean, I have an unproven quarterback, and I have more faith in him than I do in Jordan Love.
Oh,
that is hilarious.
I'm gonna say you have fun with your handoff, merchant. Ken,
let me ask you an honest question about Jordan Love. So I understand what you're saying about Jordan Love. I think this is his year. You're gonna find out what he is or what he isn't. You know, he's had a couple of decent years, but this is the turn year. This is where you're gonna know you got something special or you got just a guy. Malik Willis at times looks like he runs that offense better than Jordan Love. What do you say about that?
No, not at all. That Malik Willis, when he comes in, yeah, there's a bit of electricity about it because he's a run-first type of quarterback, and that gets real exciting because it looks all flashy and that. But Jordan Love has a hell of a lot better understanding of not only the concepts of the offense, of the entire offense the whole way through. And he's got a lot better arm talent than Malik Willis. Do not get me wrong. I like Malik Willis as a backup, but that is as a backup. I'd be okay with him starting a couple of games, but not an entire year.
Ooh-wee. Now, Ken.
Didn't you guys say the same thing about Aaron Rodgers?
You can't even put him in that category, man. Come on.
No, because Packers fans said the same crap about Aaron Rodgers when Brett Favre was at the helm. Oh, he's a good backup. You know, he can come in there if Brett Favre gets hurt, but I don't want to see him as a starting quarterback, and that is a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Okay.
I mean,
you had some Packer fans saying some dumb shit like that. We all have stupid people in our fan bases that say absolutely ridiculous stuff.
Man.
Now,
I told you, Packers talk out of both sides of their mouth, man. I'm telling you.
Now, I got a question.
And one's just, one's below the zipper and one's above the lips.
Go ahead, Jay.
Mike is going for the jugular over here.
Go ahead, Jay. He brought the heat. Go ahead, Jay. What were you gonna say?
Now, I'm going to start with Ken. What do the Packers need to do to win the division this year? And then I'm going to ask Mike that same question.
One thing, and it's going to massively change the fortunes of the team, is hold on to the damn football when you're catching it. There were 11 drop touchdowns alone. That's not drop passes in total. That's just touchdowns that were dropped. People need to hold on to the ball in Green Bay. That's why I think we finally went out and changed that. Since like 2002, us not drafting a first-round receiver, we went out and got Matthew Golden, and this guy looks like he's got some hands.
Yeah, he does. Golden has hands. Okay, Mike, what do the Vikings need to do to win the division this year?
Hope one of the team buses gets hit with a meteor.
Oh, shit. Damn. Yeah. I love it, man. I love it. We need the Bear fan in here. Everyone wants to shit on the Bears. Come on, where's the Bear fan?
Ken, did you come up with that yourself, or did somebody email that to you?
We'll have Bear fans come in here.
So what the Vikings have to do to win the division is clock management, ball control, and make sure we don't give up the big play. We were ahead in a lot of games last year, and it's like our defense just went to sleep. They lollygagged. They didn't keep the foot on the pedal. They didn't put pressure, and they were, and we've said this in other podcasts. They play that soft nickel, and they get beat. And we have to make sure that we keep people healthy. And, to answer your question earlier about, J.J. McCarthy being the handoff king in Michigan, I watched almost every single highlight from, practices, inter-squad league games and stuff like that. He put up great numbers, and he was averaging 35 to 40 passes a game. So the whole preseason, I think he only threw 2 interceptions and had like 21 touchdowns. So I think that this whole offseason, he's been training, with the receivers, with Kevin O'Connell, to make sure that he is ready to throw the ball a lot more than he is. And he's actually a really accurate thrower, and he makes good decisions. But real life game time and, going 100% every play of the game is going to be kind of a story, So I'm optimistic. I'm used to saying next year. So we'll just see what happens.
Now, do you have faith that he will? I mean, as crazy as this may sound, do you have faith that he will be able to put up Sam Darnold type numbers? I mean, really, let's be honest. Sam Darnold was damn near perfect at the beginning and middle of the season, and he started to lose steam. Now, do you think that he can get you to, maybe 10, 11 wins this season, or do you think it'll be a major drop off?
No, I don't think we're going to have a major drop off, but the division has gotten stronger. Players are getting better, so it's going to be Packers, Lions, Vikings. I don't think Chicago is going to make a lot of headway with the first year with Ben Johnson. I just don't, and that's just realistic. I think JJ McCarthy is an 11 or 12 win quarterback. I think he learned a lot while he was hurt, because everything I'm reading is that he was in the quarterback room. He was listening to Sam Darnold. He was, talking to other, good quarterbacks and getting advice. And he's really worked on his mechanics, his footwork. And you could plug and play pretty much any quarterback, with the receiving core we have when they're healthy and all in there, and with Kevin O'Connell, and they're going to look like they're a good quarterback.
The thing with JJ McCarthy with me is, when I saw him he got drafted by Minnesota, the first thing that came to my mind is that KOC comes from the Sean McVay tree. Yeah. Quick throws, kind of West Coast kind of offense, make quick reads and all that, your progressions and all that. And JJ came from Michigan, where he had a very dominant running game. He had a dominant O-line, and he wasn't asked to do a lot. He was asked to just not fuck it up, to be honest with you. That was basically his job.
Absolutely.
And my thing is, I don't know if you turn the keys to a franchise quarterback and just ask him not to screw it up, especially when you trade up for a guy like that. So tell me.
We did the same thing with Teddy Bridgewater out of Louisville. And Teddy was our franchise quarterback until, he had that devastating knee injury. And I think J.J. McCarthy, coming out of Michigan, was a better quarterback than Teddy Bridgewater was coming out of Louisville. The dude's only lost 2 games his whole football career.
Yeah, but
college.
But the thing is, Mike, you grade a quarterback on how they struggle, not how they win. Look at Alabama. You know why Alabama quarterbacks don't have success is because they're always in stacked teams. They never have adversity. They never struggle.
Not necessarily.
I don't believe that,
because they're never behind. They're always ahead.
No, that's not true, because they got rid of Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts went to Oklahoma, on a stacked team, and they brought in Tua.
Yeah, look at Tua. I think it's more the teams.
Tua, in my opinion, Tua is an average NFL quarterback.
Right.
I think Jalen Hurts is a way better quarterback than him, but Nick Saban walked away from, Jalen, because he supposedly couldn't win the big game, and then he went to Oklahoma and did it.
Yeah, but the thing is, and Jalen Hurts wasn't even that good of a quarterback in college either. I'm sorry, he didn't fuck it up either. That was his thing too. He was nothing special. He's still that in the NFL.
I feel like Kirby Smart had a good game plan for Jalen Hurts. Let's just be honest. They didn't have any tape on Tua Tagovailoa, and he got in there. He surprised them a bit, and it was history from there.
Here's the thing with that I feel that Minnesota did well. We got an offensive line. We stacked up with a bunch of corn-fed boys from the Midwest. Mm-hmm. They're gonna protect him. They're going to give him the opportunity to have time in that pocket and be able to make his progressions and do what he does. You dump the ball off underneath, you swing pass, you screen pass, build some confidence in the first couple weeks, and then let it rip tater chip and see what he does.
You think that's not that was my question too, is you think they trust him, even so with JJ? I mean, trust me, dude. JJ is a hell of a player. I love JJ.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But the thing is, JJ, when he doesn't get the ball, he can kind of be a little bit of a diva. And if the other JJ is not throwing the ball downfield and the other JJ is not getting the ball, how's that going to work? Because that dynamic's going to be interesting to see how that.
They have a very good.
Ken, I think that's for you, sir.
Yeah, that Texan fan.
For you.
I think that JJ McCarthy and Jetta's got a very good chemistry. They did a lot of stuff in the offseason. They worked out. I seen the chemistry with him and Jordan Addison, in preseason. I don't think we have a problem with chemistry. I don't think we're going to have a problem with ball disbursement. I think we have a problem with just the unknown. You guys had Goff. Guys have Goff. He's a proven quarterback. Yeah. We basically have a rookie as our starting quarterback. we're putting all of our chips in on somebody whose college career was unscathed, high school career, national champion. Yeah, he still had to throw the ball in Michigan. He didn't have a lot of interceptions. He had, decent yards. He made good decisions. That's what kind of leads back to what I thought that was going to win us the national, the division was ball management, everything else to be able to get us to that win. You start making foolish shit and rushing and throwing balls all over the place and across your body and across the field.
Well, he's a young quarterback. He's going to make those mistakes regardless.
He is.
First of all, let me just put this out here.
Go ahead, B.
JJ played for the University of Michigan. They won a national championship. They were in contention to win 2 other ones. Okay, JJ, I'm sorry, Jay. JJ wasn't throwing all kinds of interceptions. Okay,
no.
Dude had good. There's games he had to go out there and run because they were stuffing to run. Watch the Penn State game.
I was just going to say the Penn State game. The whole second half they ran the ball, nothing but running the ball, and that's when Blake Corum ran out and got that big touchdown that really changed the whole game. But
what I'm saying is when they stopped the run, JJ was more than capable of throwing the football. But you don't get that kind of a pedigree from that. You're in a Big Ten school. It's just like what you say about Alabama and Tua and Jalen. Okay, basically those schools are just NFL teams on campus. That's what they are, especially Alabama.
Yeah, they're
they're pro-ready. They're pro-ready football teams. Basically, I'm sure one of these college teams can go out there and give our weakest NFL team a challenge. I'm not saying to win, but I'm just saying to give them a challenge.
Yeah, but think about this.
But JJ is good. He'll be capable of running, especially with KOC there. He's a quarterback whisperer. Look what the hell he did with Sam Darnold. It was the first thing everybody said when they got Sam Darnold last year. Oh, shit, so it's going to be in last place.
I'll give you 3 instances in a quick second. The thing that really makes me question J.J. McCarthy is, if you remember, when they played Bowling Green, he went out there and he threw 2 interceptions, if I'm not misunderstanding myself, right? I'll have to go back and look at that. And then in the previous year before that, when they played TCU in the playoffs, and Sonny Dykes was kind of allegedly under the notion that Michigan was stealing signs. So, they switched up a lot of plays.
Proven.
And J.J. McCarthy – I'm sorry, say that again?
That was proven.
Yeah, and J.J. McCarthy went out there. He threw another 2 interceptions. And, freaking TCU put up like 56 points on them.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
But it's just like we all say, guys. It's on any given Sunday or any given Saturday. Every quarterback's going to have a bad game. But then he threw 2 interceptions, but then he came back next week and threw 5 touchdowns.
And if that wasn't enough for you, think about the second half of that Penn State game where Michigan ran the ball, 26 consecutive times, and they didn't throw the ball at all. I don't want to crap on J.J. McCarthy because I know the ability is there. He can do it.
Sounds like it is.
Jim Harbaugh
but it's Jim Harbaugh.
And you're a Michigan fan.
No, I'm an Ohio State fan. And
I'm saying Jay. I'm saying Jay.
Yeah.
Michigan.
Anyway, let me tell you something. The college career of J.J. McCarthy. Talk all that stuff you want, JJ, about JJ. Damn, too many damn J's in this conversation. Anyway, he threw 49 touchdowns and 11 interceptions over his career at Michigan. That is pretty good ass stats. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. But I'm going to push back on that, B, because there are a lot of quarterbacks that look really good in college and don't equate to the NFL.
Anthony
Richardson. because the NFL is a different animal. So with JJ McCarthy, here's my thing, Mike, with JJ McCarthy.
Hey, Robbie, you need to chill out. Robbie, you need to chill out.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with what you're saying. I don't disagree with what you're saying about JJ McCarthy. My thing is that you had a guy in Sam Darnold who really proved himself in that team.
No, he didn't.
And yes, he did.
He fell apart. He fell apart the last 4 games of the year.
But Goff
couldn't beat Detroit and he couldn't beat the Rams.
We had an opportunity to win the NFC North, and seeing Ghost Sam came back.
2 games. You
It
won
doesn't
14
matter.
games on the season.
Those
bro.
are really the
you
only
guys
teams
have
lost
been
was the Detroit
NFL fans long enough, and you
and
know
LA.
that everything is bullshit for the regular season, but when it comes to the playoffs, it's a totally different caliber of a game.
Well, I mean, that's fair.
And Sam just ducked out. He was
So let me
days
ask you
left.
something. Let me ask you something, Nate. If Sam Darnold was doing everything, how come he didn't make it in Carolina?
I mean, that could have been coaching. It could have been skills. I mean, it could have been a lot of things.
Could have been him.
He was
How
a
about that?
pretty young
It
draft pick,
could have
number
been
3
possibly
It could have been a
him.
lack of weaponry
Team.
around him too.
But
Sam
my-
Darnold
that's
was
another
not good.
fact.
But here's my point. My point is y'all have a stacked roster. Y'all have the second best roster in the NFC North. Okay,
Yeah.
And the reality is that you just put a rookie quarterback on notice to win you a division. When you damn well know rookie quarterbacks do not win early, unless you're Jaden Daniels, which he's not Jaden Daniels, not even close to it. And the thing is, you're expecting to compete. You're
But
not going to compete early on with JJ McCarthy. He's going to struggle like hell.
But we don't know that.
I'm pretty sure we do.
He could be Jaden Daniels.
Oh God, come on, man!
I
Stop
mean,
it.
you
know
don't
who
know.
JJ
Stop it.
McCarthy reminds
Stop
me
it.
of?
Stop
You know
How
who
do
JJ
you know?
McCarthy reminds me of? That's a Michigan quarterback.
Tom Brady.
Brian Greasy. Nope, not
Jaden Daniels.
Brian
come on,
Greasy.
man. Tom Brady.
Brian
Come on,
Greasy
dude.
was a very
Come on, man.
capable quarterback when he came out of Michigan. When he went to Denver, he played some very meaningful games in Denver. I'm not saying he was the greatest quarterback ever. No,
Yeah.
but JJ McCarthy will be
He
that
could be
quarterback. He's
capable,
going
but
to
he's
run
not gonna
inside
be
that
anything
offense.
special.
He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Anyway,
JJ's
let's get off of JJ because I want Ken to answer this question right here that I've had on the board for the last 5 minutes because this Texan fan is calling him out.
That is crazy.
Oh, yeah. Two major things here. Well, what separates the Bears and the Packers, but if you take out Rodgers and Favre, would be 2 other Super Bowls just to start there, and the Bears being perennial dumpster team, basement team. I don't know, whichever phrase you prefer. And then Jordan Love and C.J. Stroud seem like they're pretty comparable. They both had very good starting first years and second years that were good but still left some questions. So I'm not going to say that either of them can't be elite because I think they both show that they have the tools for it. We just got to see what happens now. It's that make or break time.
I mean, yeah, you talk about Jordan Love. Like, what has Jordan Love done in the playoffs to make me think that, like, this guy is an even elite player? Like, I think he's got...
Did you not see what he did to Dallas?
It's Dallas, bro. Come on.
Oh,
Yeah,
Come on. We put 50 points on Dallas.
Dallas was a 13-win team that year.
I won't call Jordan
Dak
Love
Prescott's
elite
ass.
just yet. I think Jordan Love is a good talent, but I won't say he's elite yet because he has his times where he still makes a lot of mistakes, and he got a turnover problem as well, and
I think it's
messed up position.
I think that's more perceived that way because you went from Rodgers to Jordan Love, where Rodgers was allergic to interceptions, to where he wouldn't make throws because he'd be too nervous about the ball getting intercepted, to where Love will take more chances with it.
And
and that's the difference between winning and losing a game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem with Jordan Love, I'll tell you right now, the problem with him is he's got great arm talent. He can throw off platform like Patrick Mahomes can in many ways. His problem is touch. He's horrible at the short passes and touch.
It's not
those guys.
Yeah, it's not that he's horrible with it. It's that he doesn't utilize it a lot. He tries to fastball everything. When he actually tries to, he's got a damn good touch pass. The problem is he thinks he's got to rifle it in. That's one thing I do want him to work on this year and get better at.
He's got a better deep ball than he's got a short pass.
Hey, Jess, they're not going to play Malik Willis, especially playing that quarter, paying him $55 million a season, and it's just not going to happen. Jordan Love is going to get all the snaps unless something happens.
Unless he can't stay healthy again.
But I was going to say
Injuries
something
have been a problem
really
with
quick.
him too.
Now, last year when Jordan Love was dealing with that growing injury, do you think they kind of rushed him back? Was it a growing injury or was it like his ankle or something like that?
Oh, he had a couple injuries that he was dealing with. One, it was either like a hamstring or a calf, something like that, and then the other was the groin too. And I think that yes, they did rush him back early from it.
Yeah.
And usually in Green Bay, we see them. They won't let a guy get to the field unless he's actually fully 100%. Well, apparently that rule doesn't apply for quarterbacks because
we saw Jordan. That's the thing.
We saw Jordan Love was not 100% in that, and him coming out and playing that game against the Lions, I think, set him back a little further.
Mm-hmm. Now,
this coming from the team that gave Percocets out like TikToks and shots of painkillers to quarterbacks just so they could stay in and play.
Believe me,
That's
if
crazy.
that was still an option, I would have had freaking Perk Love out there.
That's crazy. Now, I do have to ask you this question. I want to ask both of you this question, Mike and Ken. First, I'm going to go with Mike. Over under 8.5 wins. Vegas have you guys at 8.5 wins. Are you going over or under?
I'm going over.
Okay, because
I think Minnesota's good. Like I said earlier, I think Minnesota's 11-12 win team.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
As long as
crazy.
they play.
That's crazy.
I've got the Lions at 11 and 12 as well, because Chicago is actually going to be a decent team this year. I think they're going to steal a couple, but it's going to come down to probably the last game of the year again.
Mm-hmm.
You and I have talked about this for the last 2 years. It's going to be Minnesota, Detroit, and probably sprinkle a Packer, season in there for the next 4 or 5 years. Because both the teams are all young, they're revamped, and it's going to be a good division. The NFC North is basically going to be the AFC South, all over again.
Yeah, and for you, Ken, you're at 9.5.
Overrated. What were you saying?
You're at 9.5. Are you taking the over or under?
Oh, I'm taking the over.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'd put us at. I would put all three teams somewhere in the 10 to 13 range, and whoever wins 13 wins the division.
You do realize we got to play each other too, right? That's going to be crazy for that.
There's not going to be
win every game outside of the division.
Yeah, there's not going to be a sweep this year. Hey, Ken, I'll bet you this, bro. I will bet a beard shave. If the Packers win 12 games, I will shave my head and my beard.
I was gonna say, if you're including the head in with it, you might have. Now, what's the bet?
Packers over 12.
Oh, 12 wins?
Do we call 12?
Don't take it, Ken. Don't take it, Ken. Ain't no team
going to win. No,
12 is as much as any team in that division.
You're talking about the division. You're talking about the conference.
12 a win or 12 a push?
12 would be a push.
Oh,
they didn't win no 12 games. If anybody's win
12
games,
I was going to say, if you give it to me at 12 as a win, I'll take it.
Damn. Well, I'm not making any bets, but I'll just say this right now: we're sweeping the Vikings, hands down.
You ain't.
Yes, we are.
No, you ain't.
We're not losing to no rookie ass quarterback. I'm telling you right now.
You're going to lose to a rookie ass quarterback.
No, we're not. We're not. You can put it. You can tape
it.
You can put it on tape and all that. We're not losing.
I will say this now: if JJ McCarthy has growing pains on that offense, it's definitely possible that the Lions could sweep them. But I'm not looking forward to them just saying
we
that
swept with Sam Darnold. Come on. What are you talking about?
Sam was not that guy. He was a bridge quarterback.
It doesn't matter. Sam Darnold's better than JJ McCarthy right now.
Bro, what's in your cup, bro? Because you're drinking that Kool-Aid.
I was going to say, I wouldn't agree with that one. JJ had won that. JJ won that
14 wins. Sam Darnold. You're telling me JJ McCarthy, who's never played an NFL game except for one series in the preseason, is better than Sam Darnold. 14 wins. You're telling me that right now.
Yes, because I don't think those 14 wins were on Sam Darnold.
The Vikings only picked up Sam Darnold as a backup bridge quarterback to J.J. McCarthy. And J.J. McCarthy got hurt, had a knee injury, had a meniscus, had to have surgery. and Sam got pushed in. Sam was never even supposed to be the starting quarterback.
I don't know.
Any quarterback that comes into Kevin O'Connell's, team is gonna do good. I don't care. It's proven. He's done it over and over again. I'm telling you right now that J.J. McCarthy is a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is going to go to Seattle, and Sam Darnold is going to be a 9-win team. Because he doesn't have the weapons.
We're lucky
he doesn't have the weapons. He doesn't have the O-line. He doesn't have the shit he had in Minnesota. Sam Darnold is going to go back to Sam Darnold at Carolina, Sam Darnold at the Jets. You're going to see
I don't think it'll be that. I don't think it'll be that far of regression. I think he's going to have a regression, but not that far.
He doesn't have the weapons. Tyler Lockett left. DK Metcalf left. What does he got? Cooper
They have
Kupp?
two good running backs. They got
Jigba.
Jigba.
They got Jigba.
Yeah,
they still got Kenneth. What's his face?
Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet.
Charbonnet, yeah.
I mean, the problem with Seattle is their offensive line. That's the problem.
Which they improved, which they got better.
They didn't do anything.
You already seen what happened to Minnesota.
Seattle stinks. They're going to be a second or third team in that division.
They drafted a tackle from.
I don't care if they drafted a tackle. He's got to play too, just like JJ does. If he whiffs, he whiffs.
I'm telling you, man.
They don't have a good offensive line.
I'm telling you right now. Look what happened. Look what happened to Sam Darnold when our offensive line got hurt. He got the shit kicked out of him.
Well, that's any quarterback, right?
Okay.
Unless you have a quarterback that can run around like Lamar Jackson.
He's starting out in Seattle with a horseshit line. That dude can't run. He's got a 5.80, 40.
He's faster than Goff.
I'm not going to, something as good as it may sound, I'm not going to count the Minnesota Vikings out just yet because they haven't beaten us. They haven't beaten us in the past, 2-3 seasons. So they're going to be out to try to dethrone the Lions. They're going to be out.
If we don't sweep the Vikings, it's going to be sad. It's going to be very sad.
I think that J.J. McCarthy has a lot to prove. And like I said, if he has growing pains, then they probably won't be able to keep up. But
listen,
I'm not looking for any
it's going to be the same old song and dance playing the Vikings, man. Brian Flores will throw a thing at Goff. And Goff's going to kick his ass like he does.
I love it.
I'll tell you what. I'll make a bet with you live on the air right now. If the Lions sweep the Vikings this year, I will buy you and your significant other a steak meal with dessert and drinks on me. If the Vikings don't get swept, you do the same for me. Put your money where your mouth is.
I don't have a significant other, but sure, I'll take it.
Yeah, fuck the Bears.
Well, then it sounds like you get 2 steaks.
In fact, you know what? Since these fools ain't here, I'm talking mad shit about Chicago.
Yeah, man.
They can't defend themselves.
Disappointing, dude.
I'm talking about
Chicago's disappointed, man.
Caleb's already in mid-season form, bro. That dude couldn't hit a broadside of a barn if he was standing next to it. He couldn't hit water if he fell out of the boat in the middle of the Pacific.
I got a question for both of y'all. Who has the worst secondary, the Packers or the Vikings?
I'm going to say the Packers. Actually, no. I'm sorry. I'm probably going to say the Vikings.
I'll admit that. It's what I've been saying for the last 2 years. We're not spending money. We're not getting secondary. We bring in these washed up has-been, used to be Pro Bowl, cornerbacks, and then the young talent that we're not willing to develop, we're getting rid of for draft picks.
Yeah, I got rid of Bynum, right?
Yeah,
you got
Cam Bynum left. We got rid of Mikael Blackman. It's oh my God. Hey, but Stephon Gilmore's still a free agent, so
you got a Kuna Matata over there too.
Yeah.
Ken, what are the Packers doing? Man. What are the Packers doing in their secondary? I mean, they literally put Bo Mix or Bo Melton as a cornerback. Keyshawn Nixon is a returner specialist, and he's now your starting cornerback. What's going on with the cornerbacks there? And you got Nate Hobbs, who
where are your safeties over there?
Nate Hobbs.
McKinney and that.
I'll start off with Nate Hobbs. I'll tell you exactly why we got him. Because Nate Hobbs, as a slot corner or as a corner in a cover 3 system, is a damn good corner. It's when he has to play on the outside in any other coverage besides a cover 3 is where he starts to lack.
But isn't he your CB1?
I was going to say they don't really know which is going to be the CB1. It seems more like it's going to be Nixon.
What?
From the way you hear them talking, they talk like both of them could be.
If you do not know who your cornerback 1 is and your
That's not
cornerback
good.
2 is, off rip, dude, you got problems in your cornerback room.
It-
Guys should have
Maybe my
kept your hair.
secondary ain't
You
as
guys
bad
No,
should
as I
have kept
thought.
your hair,
because it goes by
With
size.
his
on Green Bay.
injury-prone ass, you would have had a lot better room with him. I don't care how often he gets injured. I played Jaheir 6-7 games. You give me 6 or 7 good coverage games.
How do you guys think you will do, Packer? Now, Ken, how do you think you're going to do in the division, considering that every team you're going to face has really good elite receivers? Like, how do you think they're going to fare with that?
I don't worry with Kerryon Valentine being out there because he's damn good in coverage. With Nixon, he keeps getting better each year because we've been playing him more and more as a corner. And hopefully he takes that next step forward. If not, I would prefer to have Kerryon as the number 1, or we could even have Nate Hobbs as the number 1 because the coaching staff seems to really like Nate Hobbs. But I don't think we have to worry too much about what the corners do because of how strong the safety room is.
Mm-hmm.
And you traded you got Nate Hobbs for who?
The
Who did you
safeties
trade for
are
Nate
in the
Hobbs?
middle of the field.
No,
They got it was a free agency. They got him in free agency.
Yeah.
Hey, Ken, I got a question for you. When you go to Denny's and you get like an omelet and you get pancakes or the option, what's the other option you get?
I don't go to Denny's for one.
Well, it's called toast, and that's what your secondary is going to be, bro. I was just trying to be nice.
Oh, I'm crying. Now, I got to ask you, Ken. Now, this is strictly like a serious question. Now, the Lions swept you, the Vikings swept you, and you were one game away, like a block kick from being swept by the Bears. Does that concern you at all?
No, for the whole reason of I think it has pissed Matt LaFleur off, and it's giving him another step or another piece of motivation that I think it was kind of like a slap in the face to him that you finished 1-5 in the division. You have to do a hell of a lot better than that, especially for being a coach in Green Bay.
Right.
That you won a bunch of games outside of the division. That's great. That's awesome. Got us into the playoffs, but it didn't win the division. That's first and foremost.
Yeah. What's the prognostication on Reed right now? Is he going to play game 1 or is he still TBD?
It's from what it seems like is that he will be available game 1.
Okay. Good. Our cornerbacks will have some fun.
Just make sure you get them all together before the game and tell them if you drop a pass, I'm shipping your ass out of here.
Exactly.
No. I'm at the point now to where if somebody drops a pass, I want to old yeller them.
There you go. That'll work too.
Now, I do got to say this. I got to give give Bear fans some crap, man. You guys failed your team big time, miserably. You know,
they can't even show up for a podcast.
Can't even show up, man. That is crazy. Considering we reached out.
Well, that's what I said. We're sitting up here talking about the Vikings and the Packers a lot.
I don't want to give them any attention. Fuck that team.
But the Bears ain't here, so we could talk all kinds of shit because they ain't got no reason to defend themselves here.
They're about as shitty as his nail.
They go 1-5 in the division, and they probably only beat the Packers. You know,
if you want to know any team, I think the Lions will sweep. Chicago would be the team I think they'd sweep.
I think Chicago we split.
Yeah,
I think
I'll go out on the limb and say they don't get a single division win.
There you go.
Hey,
that works too.
I love it, man. I love it. That's music to my ears.
Mike,
why the Chicago fans are talking about Lions. Oh, they lost their offensive and defensive coordinator. Bitch, you just got a new head coach. What the hell are you talking about? And a new offensive coordinator and a new defensive coordinator.
Yeah, y'all gotta get off the losing the coordinators, man. We still have the offensive players, and they've gotten better. And we just added another one.
Yeah,
Isaac
there's a huge component to not only who's running the offensive system, it's who's calling the plays. Because there's an ebb and flow to the game, and you got to get into a rhythm as a play caller.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, you have the quarterback that's even keeled.
But they still have Caleb Williams. I mean, I don't give a
No, I'm
shit
talking
if
about the
Ben
Lions.
Johnson's there and holding his jockstrap and telling him what to do. Caleb Williams is going to do Caleb Williams things.
No, I was talking about the Lions. Fuck the Bears.
Oh.
I'm not
And
doing
I
the
don't,
Bears.
and I'm pretty sure everybody here is very familiar with our old head coach, Matt Patricia. Ben Johnson gave me those Matt Patricia vibes. Like you come in as drill sergeant, you think you're turning everything around, but in fact, you're not good.
Ben
And,
Johnson
you know,
ended practice and scrimmages 3 times this preseason because people weren't up to his standard. How do you think that builds culture? How do you think that
And I'm gonna
builds
t-
any
I-
kind
I'm-
of rapport?
vibes.
Hold on, that's not even the worst part. We all have seen the quarterback drill 1,000 times where the quarterback's 10 yards away throwing into that little net. How do you miss all 4 pass attempts from 10 yards?
See,
From
and
10
this
yards,
is
football guys could do it. And if I can do it, that's terrible.
He had
this
one
is-
too
and
many
this-
coats of fingernail polish on his hands.
Yeah,
It was
and
off
this is
balance.
this is why I say our rivals talk out of both sides of their mouth, because y'all are shitting on Ben Johnson, but yeah, you think we're not going to be better with Johnny Morton. Johnny Morton actually was with the Lions. He created the Ben Johnson offense together.
To be
That's
fair,
a fact.
I personally am more shitting on Caleb Williams than I am Ben Johnson.
Well, I know.
I think
To be honest
I
with
think
you,
Ben Johnson's
I've got no
coordinator.
problem with Ben Johnson. I think he went from the frying pan to the fire, and like you're saying, it's Matt Patricia vibes. He's over there dictating, and he's not creating a culture. How many times did we say it last year? A team's vibe is all built off of culture.
Mm-hmm.
If you believe in what your coach is doing, and you believe in your teammates, and you believe in all that, things fall into place. He's not building a culture.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you guys something, all you guys. I know it's a line-related question, but it's still a league-related question. Ben Johnson and AG, Aaron Glenn. Who have you heard the most from?
Ben Johnson.
AG.
Thank you. No, you haven't heard nothing from AG. What do you hear from
Nothing
AG?
about AG.
Over Ben Johnson?
No. A couple days ago, you remember they were asking him some questions, and he said, "My choice," something like that. The interview kept asking him that same question.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, I get what you guys are saying.
Ben's
No,
allowed.
you haven't seen Sports Center come out and say Aaron Glenn did this in Detroit. You're saying, oh, Ben Johnson shut down his practice and sent everybody home. Ben Johnson did this. Ben Johnson did that. No, that's.
As a matter of fact, Aaron Glenn did something that Dan Campbell did in his first year in Detroit. He let the players lead a practice, or the players decide to lead a practice on their own. That's the same thing Dan Campbell did here. Aaron Glenn is more of a head coach than Ben Johnson is, and Ben Johnson
Aaron Rodgers out the first
Ben
day.
Johnson's like a little asshole-ish. That's
Yeah,
what he is.
yeah, and
people don't understand that about him.
That's part of the point of he's not very good with personnel because he brought in Justin Fields, and as we saw through the Jets practices, that all besides that very first game against the Packers, he has looked absolutely terrible. And that good game that he did have against the Packers in the preseason was all from his running, not from his quarterback play.
Yeah.
Well, that's considered a quarterback play now. So,
Mike, let me ask you a question. This is a guy I'm kind of curious about what year 2 is gonna look like for him. Dallas Turner. Talk to me about Dallas Turner. What do you expect for Dallas Turner this year?
Dude, I love Dallas Turner. I got Danielle Hunter vibes, from him. I got Aiden Hutchin vibes from him. He is a proven, D-back or defensive end. He led the SEC, which is the hardest division, in college football, in tackles, sacks. He's going to be good. He found his groove towards the end of the year, and I think he's just going to grow off of it. He put on 8 pounds of muscle, this year and picked up 1/10 on his 40. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with. I think the adjustment from college football to the pros last year was a little overwhelming for him, but now that he's settled in, I think he's going to be a staple in that defense. He's going to be a bookend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he did last year, but I mean, he showed some flashes. I did see in some games.
They just have to utilize. They have to utilize him right. They rotated him in, rotated him out. They have to let him just be Dallas Turner. Mm-hmm. If they let him just run wild and do what he does, I think he's going to be okay. But if you muzzle him and you put a collar on him and you pull him back, then he's just going to be mediocre.
Okay. Right on. Well, fellas, I want to thank y'all for coming on the show. Thank you for representing your teams. It's always a pleasure talking to y'all. Definitely, we're going to have y'all come during the season when we play y'all. It'll be more fun. Before we let you go ahead.
I was going to say, well, then it looks like I'll be seeing you guys again here real soon.
There you
Yes,
go.
sir.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
sure will.
Invitation's open. You can invite.
I'm gonna try to get my friend. Gonna try to get another Packer fan if y'all cool with that too.
Yeah.
Jesse.
But yeah. Thank you. Yeah, but thank you very much for coming on the show. Before we let y'all go, shout out your podcast or your shows or whatever, and any parting shots.
I was going to say, Mike, I'll let you do whatever yours is first because it's a shorter list than mine.
I don't have a podcast, guys. I do this for the love of the game. I appreciate y'all inviting me, when you guys have this. I know that I do, some stuff with Bistrilla. I do a lot of stuff with Ken. I just love football. I love our division. I think our division, represents very well to the NFL. I enjoy it. At the end of the day, we all have one common interest, and that's the love of the game. And, I don't wish ill upon any team. I love my Vikings. It is what it is. I love talking shit with you guys because it's a camaraderie that, we've built over the years. And thank you for letting me be a part of it. Even though,
thank you for coming.
Yeah. And Ken, what can I say? Your Packers still suck. And I don't care how much you pay that JUCO quarterback. He is going to be just that, a JUCO quarterback. And you got all your eggs in a
That should
basket
work out real well for us because the last JUCO quarterback we had was Aaron Rodgers.
He was from SoCal. What are you talking
You
about?
want to tell me where he played before that?
Cal.
Cal.
Yeah. Before Cal, he was in the junior colleges.
Yeah, and a lot of them are. But here's the thing. I love you guys.
Just mad that the insult didn't go the right way.
All right.
Yes, sir, man.
It's gonna be a good year. I'm looking forward to my fully comped steak and dessert and drinks dinner from you when the Vikings don't get swept by the Lions. So let's make sure that we timestamp that and
do it.
I'll reach out.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, and Ken.
All right. Well, at first you can follow me on Packer Backer News on Facebook. Then for podcasting wise, I got Ken and Ken in the morning where I do a show with a Bear fan. That's at 10 a.m. Central. Then I got an afternoon show, the Daily Huddle, that we run at noon Central every weekday too. Got the Red Zone Rant that we run on Sundays at 10 a.m. Central. And then my baby, the Packer Backer Boys that we have Friday nights at 8 Central.
Dang. I'll cover all the days.
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right. And your parting shot to
Thanks for having me on. I can't wait to kick your guys' ass week 1.
Oh man, that'll be fun. Get your popcorn ready because Amaral will be jumping in the stands again.
Oh,
and giving a middle finger to people.
Maybe Tesla might jump in there too.
I think we'll get a few Lambeau leaps out of McKinney after Goff gets punched in the mouth a few times and throws a couple of pick sixes.
Are you playing Madden or are you?
No, it's not Madden. The Vikings haven't won Super Bowls still.
Oh shit. Well, thank you, fellas, for coming on. It was great having y'all. We'll definitely have y'all on again. And you guys have yourself a good evening.
You as well. Thanks, guys.
Thanks again.
All right, B. That was fun, y'all.
Get away.
That was fun. That was, it's always good to talk with the guys in the divisions. A little delusional, but that it is what it is. I'm excited for a great season against those guys. Any final thoughts for y'all?
Go Lions.
Well, the NFC North is the best division in football right now.
It is. And we got the best quarterback. We all know that. All right, just real quick. Our next show will be next Tuesday. We're going to have a Lion fandom. We know Lions will show up. They're not no damn Bear fans. They're going to show up. They're going to show up in droves, and we're going to have a great round table. And we're going to preview the Whackers. I didn't say Whackers when they were there. I was being respectful. I should have said Whackers, but anyways.
Were you?
Yeah. But we're gonna preview the Whackers game 1. Shout out all the people that were on our show: Steve-O, Brent. Who else am I missing?
Robbie, Issa
always.
Merced, Jesse Stodd. Yeah. Brent was in there. The Battle Red Love, Lion Rumble.
There you go. You got some good
people.
people.
Good.
Please like and subscribe to our podcast. We're really trying to go big with this, so please share. Please, if there's any Lion fans out there, please, y'all, subscribe, get to us, send us an email or something. We'd love to have you on. We're going to try to have Lions fans on all season. So we're going to be riding that blue wave all the way to Super Bowl, right, boys?
Yeah. Sure. Why the hell not?
Jay faded out. Is there?
Am I out?
Oh, there you go.
Oh
No, I said you faded out. You didn't answer the question.
I'm still there. I can't see what Robbie said though.
No, that's not.
Oh, yeah. Robbie's just being Robbie. But as always, fellas, it's been great seeing y'all. We'll be on next Tuesday. Again, we're going to have our Lions roundtable with some great Lions fans. Chop it up about the season, then talk about the Whackers game 1. So tune in, please. And as always, fuck the Packers, fuck the Vikings, fuck the Bears. Sorry ass fucking Bears. Go back in hibernation. That's where you're going to be all season. And we will see you on the other side. Have a good evening. This is the One Ass Cheek and 3 Toes signing out. Peace. Go Lions.
Remember, today's episode is powered by Dre's Daiquiri Shop at Cotton Gin, where Texas flavor meets game day energy. Cool off with our legendary Texas-style daiquiris and load up on the best football food in town. From crispy, mouth-watering wings to your favorite game day bites, Dre's is your ultimate pregame, halftime, and victory spot. Don't just watch the game. Taste the win at Dre's Daiquiri Shop at Cotton Gin.